excitement with several good fighters out of Michigan, including in the first round Rashid Lee going up against Twin Dragons' Josh Carrick. Second round action features a very seasoned veteran in terms of his style. You'll enjoy watching him, Miles Nixon against Beats Garisco. We'll be back to talk further about tonight's matches momentarily as we continue with World Championship Kickboxing here on Rogers Cable 10.
The swimming pool. The third man in the ring, Mr. Rocky Zolnerchik. Introducing first, in the blue corner. He hails from Detroit, Michigan. In his first professional fight, they call him the Rocky, weighing in at 170 pounds, Rashid Lee. His opponent in the red corner from Barrie, Ontario, also in his first professional fight. He weighed in at 175 pounds, Josh Carrick.
We're underway with World Championship Kickboxing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with my broadcast partner, Ed Zawadzki, feature columnist with Our Toronto. Well underway, nicely underway rather, with our two combatants. Josh Carrick representing the Twin Dragons with the red gloves, and with the black gloves out of Detroit, Michigan, Rashid Lee. And Ed Zawadzki, obviously two fighters here, not wasting any time. Rashid Lee coming out hard and fast.
Yeah, they're both showing a lot of aggressiveness already. Rashid Lee is really coming in and taking the fight to Carrick.
This is the pro debut for Josh Carrick, native of Barrie, Ontario. And also, this is a pro debut for Rashid Lee. His amateur record is 10-2-3.
Rashid Lee's got a very quick sidekick.
Don Muncie trains Josh Carrick, as mentioned, native of Barrie, with the Twin Dragons, Mick and Martin McNamara. Currently works as a waiter at Walt's Bar and Grill. He's trained in fire protection. Rashid Lee, Ed, not only a fighter, but his other occupation is working in the retail jewelry business. So,
yeah, he was telling me.
Suffice to say, away from the ring, he's probably a well-dressed man.
Yeah, I saw some of the jewelry he was wearing. He owns a jewelry store in Detroit.
Yeah, maybe he could lend me some. All right, we're at the end of the first round here. This is a scheduled 3-round bout. Got a look there at Rashid Lee, his corner man working with him. They came out pretty hard and fast in that first round, then they backed off a little bit.
Guys?
Okay, we're getting set here for round number 2. And we're underway with round number 2 of this 3-round bout. between Josh Carrick of Barrie, Ontario, representing Twin Dragons, and Rashid Lee out of Detroit. And he resides in Dearborn, Michigan with the Dearborn Sports and Fitness Club. Coming out much the way they did in the beginning of the first round with some fast work. See if they can keep that up through the second round. Nice combinations there. Very nice combinations by Josh Carrick of Twin Dragons with the red gloves, continuing to go after Rashid Lee hard and fast. Good combinations. Oh, nice kick there. Now Lee pushing Carrick back into the corner. Nice kick, very nice kick by Rashid Lee. Scoring punches, more punches, and a kick to the head. Now Carrick chasing Lee back.
Rashid Lee's really getting through now. But Carrick's coming back.
Yeah, this has been a good up and back fight. No one fighter dominating for any particular length of time.
Oh, here comes Rashid though. He's hurting Carrick.
Now Lee, the more aggressive fighter, definitely at this stage, with Carrick up against the ropes.
He's hurting him.
Almost connects with the roundhouse. Nice lead kick. That's the end of the second round, and it looked like Josh Carrick getting a little bit tired towards the end of that second round.
Well, he sure took a lot of punches and kicks. Rashid Lee is very, very quick. He's using his superior hand and foot movement to his advantage.
Rashid Lee's favorite athletes, no surprise, I guess, when we watch him fight here, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., and Oscar De La Hoya. He's got high school education, 1 year of college, majored in music. So a bit of an artiste, so to speak.
Yeah, he was telling me that he was quite a keyboard player. He played professionally for a while.
Really? I've got to ask him if he can play Inagata Davida. I can help him out on the drums if he can play the organ. Anyways, we're waiting for round three. We've got a look there in the corner of Detroit, Michigan's Rashid Lee coming out, ready for the third and deciding round of this match. And we are underway, watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Cable. Storm and Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with our Toronto columnist, Ed Zawadzki. Lee and Carrick duking it out nicely. Good exchanges here in the deciding round. Not holding back anything. Nice combination there for Rashid Lee. Ooh, good shots to the head. He's got Carrick on the ropes, literally and figuratively. Rashid Lee with an excellent combination, a very aggressive charge. He's going for broke now. Rashid Lee with Carrick again off the ropes. Carrick looks like he's just trying to hang in. And that's about it. He is just trying to hang in, covering up. Rashid Lee looks like he's going to put the finishing touches, Ed Zawadzki, on this match right here. Josh Carrick just trying to hang on as we're in the final round, the third round of this match. Both fighters making their pro debut. See, Carrick looks like he's out of breath. Josh Carrick in the red gloves, Rashid Lee in the black gloves.
Oh, Carrick's bleeding now.
Yeah, he most certainly is. Rashid Lee, more blows to the head and to the body. Carrick just struggling to hang on, survive this third round match, or the third round of this match, rather. And that's the end of the fight. I don't think there's any doubt about that, Ed Zawadzki, that Rashid Lee has certainly won that 3-round bout. And now we're going to wait for ring announcer Greg Manzik of City TV to come out with the decision. Certainly there's no doubt in my mind anyways that Rashid Lee has come out victorious in that match. I mentioned both fighters, both Josh Carrick of Twin Dragons and Rashid Lee making their pro debut.
Can you get back to Greg? To Greg, the ring announcer.
Okay, we're ready for the announcement. And certainly Ed would be very shocked if it's not Rashid Lee who's won this bout.
Oh, I think he won hands down. He won.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision, but first let's hear it for both fighters. Josh, you just took the fight today. We thank you very much. The winner by unanimous decision in the blue corner, The Rock, Rashid Lee.
No surprise there, Ed Zawadzki.
No surprise at all.
But courageous effort by Josh Carrick, who of course was a late replacement for the other fighter who was supposed to be in there, Josh Baptiste.
Carrick put on a really gutsy performance. You know, he's got to get back into the gym, get working on his kicks, especially with his punches. That's where he needs most of his work.
All right, coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, our second bout is brought to you by Grand West, the traffic ticket people, and Mr. Slate Sports Bar. It is scheduled for 3 rounds. Once again, Rocky Zolnurschik, the third man in the ring. Introducing first, out of the blue corner, from Detroit, Michigan. He weighed in at 161 pounds, a professional fight record of 2-1. They call him Z Cobra, Miles Dixon. And his opponent in the red corner, fighting out of Toronto in his first professional fight, weighing 160 pounds, Vince Garisto.
And you're watching World Championship Kickboxing here on Rogers Cable. I'm Stormin Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with broadcast partner Ed Zawadzki, feature columnist in Our Toronto. And as we get set for this round, Ed Vincenzo Garisto, certainly with a large entourage here. And we saw him come into the ring. I don't know if you saw it on the monitor before, but he came into the ring wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs hockey sweater number 5. Of course, that formerly belonged to Bill Barilko, the overtime hero in the 1951 Stanley Cup playoff. He died later in a plane crash, and of course his number retired. However, with a tough opposition, watching a Vincenzo Garisto in the red gloves and the black gloves out of Detroit, Michigan, Miles Dixon. This is Garisto's first professional fight. And as far as Miles Dixon goes, he is 2-1 with 1 knockout.
An interesting fact that some of our viewers might be interested in is that Vince Garisto is a very, very courageous young man who's recently just overcome a bout with Hodgkin's disease.
So the man is courage. That's about the ultimate in courage right there.
100%.
Hodgkin's disease, of course, the same disorder that Pittsburgh Penguin superstar Mario Lemieux went through treatment for, radiation treatment a couple years ago.
Dixon's definitely using his height and reach advantage.
Yes, he certainly is.
Right now.
Scoring nicely with his glove. Sorry, go ahead.
He's circling the outside of the ring well.
Yeah, Garisto not backing off very much. He comes right back for more. Dixon does a very good job of protecting himself. Keeps his gloves up, watches carefully Garisto's feet. See his eyes almost focused Ed, on Garisto's feet. Oh, a shot to the back of the head there by Vincenzo Garisto. Some good counter shots by Dixon. End of the first round of this 3-round bout. Miles Dixon out of Detroit, Michigan, representing Dixon Temple, and Vincenzo Garisto, he's from Woodbridge, Ontario, representing Twin Dragon Kung Fu. As we take a short break, getting set for round number 2 of this 3-round match. See the lovely lady carrying the card. Nice of her to drop by and visit. And there in the corner on your monitor, you can see Miles Dixon, the
one thing about Dixon that I find absolutely amazing, Norm, is watch the speed of his feet. It's absolutely incredible.
Dixon's favorite sports are baseball and basketball. Favorite athletes include Chuck Norris, no surprise there. Detroit Pistons superstar Grant Hill.
Well, being from Detroit, that's a natural.
Well, yeah, I can't think of anybody in Detroit or anywhere else who doesn't like Grant Hill, who expected to fill the shoes of Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, and Hakeem Olajuwon down the road. Already starting to fill those shoes. Nicely underway in the second round, and Miles Dixon comes out very charged up, very aggressive, with Garisto against the ropes. Some serious dancing going on. Wow. Good punch there scored by Miles Dixon on Garisto. Dixon dances nicely. Knows how to avoid Garisto's punches so far. Watches his feet very carefully, as you can see, where his eyes are focused. Keeping a very careful eye on Garisto's feet. There's Miles Dixon out of Detroit. Dixon in black gloves, and Vincenzo Garisto, rather, out of Woodbridge with the red gloves.
Dixon's doing everything right now. He's using his front kick, he's using his side kick well.
Dixon is
keeping his hands up.
He's just a smart fighter. He watches Garisto very carefully.
If you notice, every time Garisto starts coming in quickly, Dixon throws out his lead leg.
That's right, he's keeping him at a distance, not letting him get too close for any reach. Garisto having trouble getting in close on Dixon. Having a lot of trouble getting close in on Miles Dixon. Miles Dixon using his legs and his, especially his leg reach smartly to keep Vincenzo Garisto at a distance, out of scoring distance.
Well, what he's going to have to start to do is, what he's doing is he's chasing Dixon, but he's not stalking him. He's got to get a little more aggressive, and he has to throw more coming in. That's the only way to be able to get in with a taller fighter like Dixon.
Yeah, and you're looking at Vincenzo Garisto with the Twin Dragons in his corner there, getting set for this third and deciding round. Garisto is going to have to come out aggressively and score some big points. As we mentioned so far, Miles Dixon's done an excellent job keeping Garisto at bay. Dixon looks very relaxed there in his corner, very confident.
Yes, he does. He's won the first 2 rounds in the fight, in my opinion. I think Garisto's going to have to come out and knock him out to win this fight.
Getting set for the third and deciding round of this match.
Or at least get a knockdown to get a 2-point round to tie it up.
And we're underway. Vincenzo Garisto in the red gloves with the Twin Dragons. He is out of Woodbridge, Ontario. Miles Dixon from Detroit in the black gloves, representing the Dixon Temple. As we mentioned, Garisto is going to have to score big time, and so far he is in trouble. He is in trouble. Miles Dixon scoring nicely at the start of this third round. Oh! Now, I'm not sure, Ed, if Dixon slipped or if that was a score hit.
No, it was a slip.
All right.
The fight was a slip. It was a slip.
Garisto coming out a little stronger now. He knows he's got to score some big points here. He's going to have any chance of success. Miles Dixon hanging in.
The biggest
Not
problem,
backing up too much.
he's got to watch that he himself doesn't get caught.
Well, Dixon dancing nicely, counters with a kick. Keeping his gloves up. Some good scores there for Garisto. Dixon chased back against the ropes. Oh, good shot.
Nice
good
right
shot
hand.
to the face by Dixon.
Nice short right hand, right on the nose.
Another shot. Dixon missing with an overhand. Garisto's going to have to get a final charge going here, Ed. He's going to have to throw it all out. Oh, good shot there.
Oh, he staggered him.
Oh. Looks like Dixon was in a bit of trouble. He came back nicely.
Garisto's got to come back up with that overhand right.
Garisto swinging with everything now.
There he is, there it is, there it is.
Good punches.
Come back.
Nice exchange. Here they go, ladies and gentlemen. Fighting like tigers in this third and final round. Good kick by Dixon. Good fight.
Nice comeback by Garisto.
Very nice comeback in that third round. He fought hard.
He definitely made a fight out of it. He's a gutsy fighter.
I think Miles Dixon has an edge there. Miles Dixon, obviously a very smart fighter, Ed.
Very poised. For a man so early in his career, he's showing a lot of poise.
As we mentioned, a 2-1 record with 1 knockout, and his partner, his fighting partner, Vincenzo Garisto,
is making his pro debut.
Exactly, representing the Twin Dragons. And we're waiting for the judge's decision, and now we've reached the conclusion of this 3-round match.
Well, the one thing I noticed in Garisto's bio is Rocky Marciano is one of his favorite athletes of all time, and Garisto definitely showed Marciano-type heart and guts in that last round.
Yeah, very bright kid too, Garisto. BA in sociology from the University of Guelph, and works in security services at the Wellesley Hospital in Toronto. Just awaiting the judge's announcement here. We got a look at Dixon in his corner with his handlers. Dixon out of Detroit, Michigan. He is a single man, and I fully expect he'll be announced as the winner. But as you mentioned, with Garisto having survived through Hodgkin's disease, talk about courage. Oh, it certainly epitomized that.
It just shows what the man is made of. It's definitely the measure of the man.
Absolutely.
Very, very tough.
Okay, this is the second of our rounds. So we've got 3 more bouts to go, including a World Championship bout coming up a little bit later on between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto, Ernie Kitterman of Belleville, Illinois. The match after this, Ed, will feature Tom Downing of Toronto and Ray Darton of Detroit. That'll be a 5-round match.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. Tom Downing is former he's I think the current North American and USBA champion.
Well, as we wait the announcement, Detroit, Michigan's Miles Dixon looking very confident, sort of leaning on the ropes in his corner. They've been called into the middle by the referee. And here is the announcement with Greg Manzik of City TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision once again. Let's hear it for the fighters. Great show.
Audience definitely showing their appreciation for this fight, Norman.
Yeah, that was a heck of a third round, I'll tell you.
The winner by unanimous decision, out of the blue corner, Miles Z. Cobra Dixon.
Oh, certainly that is the right decision, but a courageous effort, very courageous effort by Vincenzo Garisto out of Woodbridge, Ontario, trained by the Twin Dragons. And as we were mentioning several times during the 3 rounds, Ed, Miles Dixon, obviously a very capable and a very smart fighter.
Well, very poised fighter. Also, before he turned pro, he had quite an extensive amateur record, which is something that Garisto lacked. So I'm really surprised that Garisto was to be able to make such a great fight out of this.
You're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Cable 10. I'm Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with my partner Ed Zawadsky, feature columnist in our Toronto. Back with more World Championship Kickboxing momentarily here on Rogers Cable 10.
Push it.
Okay, we're underway with this affair. This will be, in fact, a 5-round match. Ray Darton out of Detroit, Michigan, against Tom Downing, representing the Twin Dragons Kung Fu Club, where Darden trains with Dearborn Sports and Fitness. We've seen Downing fight before. Certainly I have, have you. In fact, I remember it was about a year ago, I saw him get knocked out with a kick to the head.
That was the St. Patrick's Day pay-per-view show. He got knocked out in the 7th round by Mike Reed. It was one of the most incredible knockouts in the history of Canadian kickboxing.
Todd Downing in the red slacks and Ray Darden in the black slacks. Downing with 3 kids, Jake, Rachel, and Sherry.
The one thing I did want to mention is that this is a non-title fight. Tom Downing is the current USFFK light heavyweight champion, and he's also the North American Kick super middleweight champion.
I've got to correct myself. He's out of Windsor, Ontario, and he's represented rather, or his trainer is Leo Lux.
Leo
and he
Lux,
owns the Super Kicks Club in Windsor. I had originally mentioned he's with Twin Dragon. That was inaccurate.
his trainer Leo Lux is a former world champion in his own right. Tom Downing is a very, very experienced fighter. He's been in there with the best.
All right, obviously both of these guys pretty seasoned. You can tell by the way they fight. Tom Downing has a record of 22-11-2 with 9 knockouts. And Ray Darden, I believe he is making his pro debut.
No, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just didn't have a record here on my sheet.
Ray Darden is 16-7.
End of the first round, this 5-round match between Tom Downing of Toronto, grew up in Windsor, but listed as Toronto, Ray Darden out of Detroit, Michigan. And that, I guess you could call a feeling out process, no substantial edge to one fighter or the other.
No, it was a very, very even round. Both fighters feeling each other out, seeing what they have. But I'm expecting things to open up very soon in the 2nd and 3rd round. Tom Downing is a very aggressive fighter. He's constantly pursuing. He's going to want to try to get the action going in this fight.
All right, there's a good close-up shot of Ray Darden, 31 years of age, mentioned out of Detroit, trains with Dearborn Sports and Fitness. As you mentioned, a pro record of 16-7, 5'10" he is. Also with the red gloves and with the red slacks. That's Tom Downing, actually resides in Windsor. I mentioned with the Super Kicks Club. Oh, looks like Darden slipped there more than a hit. Comes back nicely with a kick. Another kick on Tom Downing.
Darden fights with that classic Detroit style, left hand down.
Is that classic Detroit style?
Oh, classic. They've been known for it in boxing, kickboxing for 30 years. Keep the hand down. They want the guy to commit himself to a right hand so they can counter on him.
Good exchange in the middle of the ring. Things heating up in the 2nd round of the 5-round match between Tom Downing and Ray Darden. Downing in the red slacks and Darden in black. Good stomach shots there by Darden. Seems like the feeling out process takes a little bit longer with seasoned pros. They don't come out to dance quite as quickly as the gentlemen we've seen in the earlier fights, the 3-round affairs. Well, this match between Darden and Downing, as Darden slips there, a 5-round match.
Well, I think both fighters respect each other's skills. They're being very careful right now. Neither one wants to commit to the first move.
End of the 2nd round. Still nothing swaying one way or the other between Ray Darden, age 31, out of Detroit, Tom Downing, age 34, out of Windsor, Ontario. Mentioned Downing married with 3 kids, and Ray Darden, he is single. Darden's favorite sports include basketball and track and field. His favorite athletes, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali. Can't get much better than that. And in terms of his occupation, he is a Spanish interpreter. So, very nice.
I know who I'm going to take down to Mexico with me on my next trip.
Well, if it's closer to December, I'd say Feliz Navidad. But it's not Christmas, so we'll have to hold off on that.
I didn't know you were multilingual like that, Norman.
Well, I know about 5 words in Spanish and 6 words in French.
I know, the only word I know in Spanish, I think, is cerveza.
Is who?
Cerveza.
Who's that?
A beer.
Oh, very nice. Very nice, Ed. Okay, we're set for round 3 in the scheduled 5-round match between Tom Downing. He represents the Super Kicks Club out of Windsor, Ontario, in the red slacks and black. Ray Darden out of Detroit, representing Dearborn Sports and Fitness. So far, not one fighter or the other clearly established in terms of who's setting the pace or who's got more points. They're still feeling each other out. I mentioned Darden with a pro record of 16-7. Tom Downing's record is 22-11-2 with 9 knockouts.
Downing trying to close the distance a little bit. Caught a big right hand there.
Oh, a little slip there by Darden.
Downing's got to find a way to close the distance off in this fight.
Looks like Tom Downing really wants to put the emphasis and score his points with the big kick as opposed to the solid punch. Darden, see, keeping a careful eye on Downing's leg, keeping his guard up. Now we're starting to get a little heat.
A little clash of heads there.
Yeah, they're certainly a lot closer in terms of exchanging some sets of blows than they were in the first couple of rounds.
Well, Downing's starting to find a way now, a little bit of a solution in closing the distance off between him and Darden.
All right, that's the end of the 3rd round of this 5-round match. Seeing Tom, actually got to look at Ray Darden in his corner. Out of Detroit, Michigan, representing Dearborn Sports and Fitness. And there's a good shot of Tom Downing out of Windsor, Ontario, with the Super Kicks Club.
Tom is one of the most personal guys I've ever met in the sport. He is so focused. He's such a family man. You know, he's a real credit to his sport.
We're watching World Championship Kickboxing here on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with my broadcast partner Ed Zawadzki, feature columnist in our Toronto. Underway with round number 4 of this 5-round match between Tom Downing in the red slacks and Ray Darden in the black. And so far, as we're just underway with the 4th round here, as I mentioned, I don't think you'd be able to pick anybody in the lead by any margin at all.
Yeah, no fighter's really taken the initiative here. I think Downing is trying to get into there with very limited success right now. He's got to get a little more aggressive. And Darden seems just to be very complacent, to sit back, throw the occasional kick, the occasional jab, and build up his points that way.
Yeah, and so far, I guess that would be the underlining description is just scoring a few points. No substantial points scored by either fighter so far.
No, neither fighter's put together a good foot or hand combination yet.
Certainly the first couple of matches were much more intense, much more exciting for the audience than this one has been.
Well, the pace has slowed down a little bit, but...
Well, never really got started.
But I can tell you right here from experience, right now these two fighters are fighting a chess game. They're waiting for the opening where they can, each one of them can move in.
Yeah. And if nothing else, we know that there's going to be a lot of stuff hitting the fan in round number 5. Downing trying to get Darden into a corner, relying heavily on his foot.
That's what Downing has to do now.
Downing continues to charge Darden. Looks like Darden's policy is to let Downing come after him at end of the 4th round. Ray Darden, Tom Downing. There's Ray Darden as he goes back into his corner, getting set for this 5th and deciding round. And of course, Ed, this will be the deciding round because nothing's been decided so far.
Well, this fight is totally up for grabs, in my opinion. The fighter that takes the initiative in this round will win this fight.
Absolutely. There's Tom Downing going over some strategy. The McNamara twins in his corner. And we'll see if they throw aside their careful strategic style. The first 4 rounds come out for broke in this 5th and deciding round. I imagine they'll have to. Watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, as we bring you today's card. Coming up later on, going to catch the FFKA World Championship bout between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto, Ernie Kitterman of Belleville, Illinois. That'll be a 12-round match. This is the 5th and deciding round between Tom Downing and the Red Slacks out of Windsor, Ontario, and Ray Darden, native of Detroit, representing Dearborn Sports and Fitness. So far, as we've mentioned, nothing really has been decided in the first 4 rounds. So both fellows are going to have to go for broke in this one.
The one thing I noticed between rounds is that Darden was breathing heavily.
Oh, a little slip there by Tom Downing. Missed with a roundhouse earlier. He's all right. And I'd say that in terms of Downing, it seems that in his exchanges, the foot absolutely sets up everything. This is the first time I've seen him lead with a punch, but I'd say overall, including this round and the 5 rounds, for Tom Downing, the foot does about 70% of the work.
Yeah, Tom Downing is one of the kickboxers. There's a breed of kickboxers that like to throw their 8 kicks per round and then get down to boxing. Well, Tom Downing is the other way. He likes to set everything up with the kicks.
Absolutely.
And he likes to finish everything with the kicks.
Almost every time.
As a true kickboxer should.
Every time almost he's initiated a series of blows against Darden. It's always starting off with the foot first, leading in with the foot. And on this occasion, he's been leading with his hands, but certainly the first 4 rounds and the start of this 5th round, always leading with the foot was Tom Downing.
Well,
a low shot there to the groin, perhaps.
Yeah, it looked like it. Actually, the referees just took a point away from Ray Darden for that low blow.
Oh, some good shots connecting here. Oh, just missed by Downing. I say
Darden's
in a little bit of trouble. There we go. End of the 5 rounds. As we predicted, both fighters a little more aggressive, as they had to be in that 5th round. I would say on the basis of the 5th round, maybe Downing gets the edge there, Ed.
I think so, and especially with the referee taking away the point from Darden.
Yeah, that could really
for
hurt
that
him.
Low blow. I think that's going to be. I think that's going to tell the tale
there is,
in this fight. I think it's going to be a very, very close decision for Downing.
Ray Darden, his record until now 16-7. Tom Downing's record going into this fight 22-11-2 with 9 knockouts as we await the judge's decision of the 5-round match. Coming up after this, we'll be watching Tomasz Trojanowski out of Toronto, Ontario in a 6-round match against John Gilmore out of Detroit, Michigan.
That's a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing.
You're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormin' Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawatsky, columnist with our Toronto newspaper. And there's a good look at Ray Darden. Looks rather relaxed, pretty contented with himself, and obviously not much to choose between until the 5th round. Even then, as we said, we're fully expecting, Ed and I, that Tom Downing will get a slight edge. He was slightly, somewhat more aggressive in the 5th and deciding round.
Well, the one thing that Downing also threw more kicks in the fight. And the one thing about the kickboxing and the judging is in a close round, they will always give the edge to the man who threw more kicks. Well,
that was certainly Tom Downing, no question about that. He looks pretty confident. Obviously, he feels that he's won the match. And yes, clearly by his style, as you said, he looks to score quite often with his kick as his lead weapon. And we're ready for the judges' announcement. There's Greg Manzik.
Once again, let's hear it for our fighters. The winner by unanimous decision, out of the red corner, Tom Super Kicks Jr. Downing.
Well, not really a surprise, and I'm sure most of the points were gained in that 5th and deciding round. As you mentioned, Tom Downing coming out with his kicks, getting as many in as possible. He was more aggressive than was Ray Darden. So Tom Downing's record moves up to 23-11-2 now with 9 knockouts, and Ray Darden 16-8. The end of that 5-round match. Coming up next, Tomasz Trojanowski out of Toronto will go up in a 6-round fight with John Gilmore. He is out of Detroit, Michigan. And you're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. Stormin' Norman Rumack, the Fan 590, and Ed Zawatsky of our Toronto magazine. Back with more on Rogers Community 10 in a moment.
Introducing first in the blue corner. He is from Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 150 pounds, a professional fight record of 6-0. They call him the Predator, John Gilmore. And his opponent in the red corner, with a professional fight record of 9-1, including 6 KOs. From Mississauga, Ontario, weighing in at 154 pounds, the Polish Prince, Tomasz Trojanowski.
As we're set to get underway here, Ed, Tomasz Trojanowski in the red slacks and John Gilmore in the black slacks. And of course, we've watched on this very show in the past Trojanowski compete before, and quite the competitor he is. Pro record of 9-1 with 6 knockouts.
Well, I'll tell you, this is a fight I've definitely been looking forward to. Trojanowski is one of the fastest rising talents in the country today, and Gilmore's bringing in a reputation as big as my arm.
That's pretty big. A record for John Gilmore of Detroit of 6-0. Now we're just about set to start. Trojanowski representing all Canadian karate and kickboxing, his manager Vito Brancaccio. John Gilmore, he's with the School of Combative Arts in Detroit. Demetrius Paul is his manager. As Trojanowski gets some kicks in, and coming right back, Gilmore.
Oh,
good body shots there by Trojanowski.
Trojanowski throwing to the body beautifully.
Yeah. I talk about Tom.
Oh, he's cutting down.
Boy, Trojanowski really goes after the body.
Trojanowski's a beautiful boxer. He's a beautiful kicker. He's a Taekwondo stylist. He's got very, very impressive kicks.
And Gilmore not holding anything back either, as you can see.
This fight is definitely coming out as a barn burner.
Well, Gilmore takes a lot of punishment to his body there, hangs in there, keeps his arms up. Quite the contrast to the last round, where we saw, for example, Ed, Tom Downing leading consistently with his foot. Here we see Trojanowski almost exclusively leading with his hands, and relying primarily on his hands.
Well, Trojanowski is one of those fighters that He throws beautiful kicks. He's very fast, very flashy kicks. But once the kicks are through, once he gets his 8 kicks through, he sticks to boxing.
Got a little
That's
bit of
just
a
his style.
timeout there for John Gilmore of Detroit. A little repair work done. And we continue with this first round. Scheduled 6-round match between Trojanowski of Toronto, actually Mississauga specifically, and John Gilmore of Detroit.
Oh, Trojanowski rocked him with that body shot.
These guys aren't even taking a breath. They're just swinging away.
Oh,
Gilmore with Trojanowski up against the ropes. Trojanowski trying to push his way out. He does. Separated momentarily. Crowd loving this first round. This promises to be a good one.
definitely the most action-packed fight of the
Oh, absolutely.
We had more action in this first round than in the entire last fight.
We certainly have. Now with another 5 rounds to go after this. Trojanowski continues, as does Gilmore, trading primarily punches. The odd kick thrown in for good measure. Trojanowski, some good body shots. Gilmore coming back with a snake. This is a solid fight, Ed Zawadzki.
Oh, it's a terrific fight. It's a barn burner.
There's Trojanowski. A little bit of toweling and cooling off in his corner. As mentioned, 6-round affair. You're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. Storm and Norman Rumack of Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with our Toronto columnist, Ed Zawadzki. There's a good look at John Gilmore in his corner. And boy, these guys are going to be tired after 6, should they both survive that long, Ed.
I can't believe the amount of punches that Trojanowski shot out into Gilmore's body. It's incredible.
Yeah, they were coming fast and furious. Our feature match will come up after this one. 5 more rounds to go here. Then it'll be a FFKA World Championship bout between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto against Ernie Kitterman of Belleville. 12-round match will be on tap next. We continue with round 2 between Tomas Trojanowski in the red, John Gilmore in the black. Trojanowski out of Mississauga, John Gilmore from Detroit. Again, Trojanowski coming out back with more body shots. As he started off in the first, now following with a good kick to the side. Trojanowski punching fast and furious.
Right now, Gilmore's just trying to hold on. He doesn't know what to make of this.
Trojanowski clearly the aggressive fighter.
Gilmore's
scored a good shot.
Gilmore is hurt.
Trojanowski taking the fight to Gilmore quite clearly.
Oh, big right hand.
Scored a good uppercut.
And the uppercuts. Another uppercut.
Gilmore in the corner. Gilmore in trouble. Gilmore is clearly in trouble. Trojanowski punching and punching at will. That's it. That's it. That was a good decision. Trojanowski had Gilmore on the ropes. He is clearly the winner. Clearly the better fighter in this particular match.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Smart move there by the referee. He made the right call.
Yeah, Gilmore
didn't want to see anybody get hurt
in this fight. Trojanowski hurt him with an incredible barrage of uppercuts.
There you see John Gilmore in his corner getting a little bit of water. Tomas Trojanowski very happy with his win. Well, it may not have lasted very long. Oh, round 3? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, it was nice that she came out anyways. We appreciated the visit.
Oh, I did. I definitely did.
Yeah, we're just commenting in case you didn't see it on the monitor. The round 3 card came out, but there's definitely no round 3. This is end of the fight. Tomas Trojanowski triumphant over John Gilmore. But as we were saying, Ed, we saw more punches in those first 2 rounds than we saw in the earlier fight for the entire duration.
Totally. Both fighters came out to fight. It was do or die for both of them. Trojanowski just just went down to the body too well. He shot so many punches to Gilmore's body.
Absolutely did.
It's the old saying that it's like chopping down a tree. You go to the body, the head will fall.
I like that. Where did you learn that from, Ed? I'll have to borrow that one. Bring that up at my next cocktail party. It's a good one.
Are you offering me a job as a writer now?
Well, absolutely. Except my show is unscripted if you've listened to me on the fan
I've
late
listened.
nights. The Hammerhead specials are entirely improv theater. Anyway, here's the announcement.
The referee stops the fight at 1 minute of the second round. The winner by TKO, Thomas Trojanowski.
There you go. Tomas Trojanowski. His record now goes up to 10-1.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now take a 10-minute break before our main event.
Okay, and that main event will feature Rico Tatangelo of Toronto in a 12-round affair, scheduled 12 rounds against Ernie Kitterman of Belleville, Illinois in an FFKA World Championship bout. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. In any case, you're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, feature columnist in our Toronto. We'll be back with more kickboxing momentarily, right here on Rogers Community 10. You're watching World Championship Kickboxing here on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, the feature columnist of our Toronto. Ed, we're all set for our big match, the FFKA World Championship.
I just informed we also
scheduled 12-rounder between Rico Tatangelo and Ernie Kitterman.
It's going to be a great fight.
Champion Mr. Sean Tompkins with us here today.
You're listening to ring announcer Greg Manzik of City TVs. We got set for this scheduled 12-round match. I mentioned Rico Tatangelo out of Toronto, Ernie Kitterman from Belleville, Illinois. Tatangelo, age 26, representing Twin Dragons, Mick and Martin McNamara. His record, 7 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. And Ernie Ironman Kitterman, as he is known, with a very impressive record at Zawadzki of 24, 3-3, and 14 knockouts.
Well, this fight has a great story. Ernie Kitterman came in 3 months ago here and knocked out Mike Reed for his world championship.
What a knockout that was.
Now, on that same evening, Rico Tatangelo knocked out and ended Kitterman's brother's career in the co-main event. Now, Mike Reed, unfortunately, did not pass his medical due to a problem with his red blood cells. So Rico, at the last minute 2 days ago,
he is from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, with a professional fight record of 7-2-1. He weighed in at 162 pounds. Rico Tatangelo.
This is all the makings of a great grudge fight.
Rocky kind of story. I remember Tatangelo last time I saw him fight. He is a very smart fighter, very aggressive fighter
from
too.
Belleville,
Very
Illinois.
aggressive, very slippery.
He weighed in at 162 pounds. A professional fight record of 24-3-3,
look at Kitterman move,
including 9
well seasoned
KOs. He is the current FFKA World Champion, the Iron Man, Ernie Kitterman.
Well, Ernie Kitterman has great boxing skills, and he's got a booming right hand, and he loves to use those boxing skills with his kicks coming in secondary. Rico Tatangelo is the exact opposite. So this is a fight between a boxer, a kickboxer, and a brawler.
Getting their instructions in the center of the ring. Kitterman's out of Belleville, Illinois, married with 2 youngsters. Robin, age 9, Brendan, age 4. His wife's name is Peggy, representing the world-class karate and kickboxing club. He is his own manager. And of course, Rico Tatangelo, as we mentioned, out of Toronto with the Twin Dragons Kickboxing and Kung Fu Club. Much less experience with a record of 7 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. As mentioned, Kitterman 24-3-3 with 14 knockouts as we are set this fight, a World Championship bout scheduled to go 12 rounds, and we are underway.
One thing to watch for, Rico Tatangelo begins every exchange with a kick, and he finishes every exchange with a kick.
And Tatangelo not holding back, despite less experience against the veteran Kitterman,
Tatangelo's going to have to keep away from an early war. Kitterman's going to try to bring him in and start brawling early, and that's the one thing. Tatangelo has to use all that ring savvy in his style to use the ring to his advantage and not get caught up in that.
And you can tell by the camera shots just how cut and defined Kitterman is. He's in great shape. Not to suggest that Tatangelo isn't, but Kitterman, outstanding shape.
Well, actually, I think Rico Tatangelo is more of a natural fighter to go the distance than Kitterman is.
Kitterman delivering some solid body shots to Tatangelo. Coming back again. Tatangelo comes back nicely. Had Kitterman briefly up against the ropes, trying to keep him in the corner up against the ropes. Boy, they're swinging with everything. Kitterman comes back. Tatangelo up against the ropes.
What a war.
Kitterman pushing Tatangelo back. Tatangelo steps out into the middle. Oh, solid shots. Solid shots.
Watch Kitterman.
Ed, you know what? I don't think this is going to go 12 rounds. Someone's going to go down.
Kitterman's trying to load up for that right hand. It's Tatangelo that lands his own right hand.
Oh. Solid body shots there as Tatangelo went up against the ropes. You can tell Kitterman's he knows exactly what he's doing, needless to say, but boy, he doesn't waste any time whatsoever trying to establish himself.
Another incredible action-packed round. This fight is definitely turning out to be the barn burner we expected.
And as you mentioned off the top, Ed, Rico Tatangelo was not originally scheduled to be fighting in this match against Ernie Kitterman.
He didn't find out he was fighting this fight until Thursday evening when Mike Reed failed his medical.
Now there you see the twins, Mick and Martin McNamara in the corner with their fighter, Rico Tatangelo, age 26, out of Toronto. He is single, enjoys boxing and fishing. Has a Bachelor of Arts degree, majoring in political science.
They have to be telling him right now is not to get caught up in any kind of war with Kitterman, to start using the ring, use his speed to his advantage.
All right, round 2 underway. This is a scheduled 12-round match, FFKA World Championship bout. Kitterman. You mentioned Kitterman out of Belleville, Illinois. Rico Tatangelo out of Toronto. See Tatangelo back in the corner. Kitterman more in the middle of the ring. And they switch around. Tatangelo with the long dark hair with the ponytail. Boy, again off to a fast start in the second round. No hesitation, no holding back. Imagine, Ed, the way that they're exchanging blows. I have trouble believing this is going to last 12 rounds. One way or another, someone is going to go down.
Well, a Tatangelo kick just whizzed by Kitterman's nose. Both these fighters very well.
Kitterman slips between the ropes. I'm not sure if he slipped or Tatangelo scored a punch there.
Kitterman's got a bad cut. Kitterman's got a bad cut.
Yes, he does.
On his cheek.
Rico Tatangelo obviously scored a nice shot there. And the crowd is all worked up here in excitement over the underdog Tatangelo.
Commission Doctor Marvin Cezanne is checking out the cut.
You can hear the crowd chanting Rico, Rico. Rico Tatangelo, the Rocky, so to speak, in this particular matchup. The hometown crowd behind him.
Last-minute replacement, fighting for, I guess, the World Championship in the honor of the Twin Dragons.
Well, so far, doing a good job maintaining that honor, too. Of course, wow. We got two real warriors in here, not holding anything back. I was going to mention, Ed, anytime you got a cut around the eye in any boxing match, it's trouble.
Well, fortunately for Kitterman, the cut is below his eye, not above the eye. where the blood flow won't restrict his vision.
There you see the end of the second round. This is scheduled to go 12 between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto. There you see in the corner with the Twin Dragons working on him, and Ernie Kitterman out of Belleville, Illinois. I mentioned right from the start, Kitterman with great experience. There is a good look at that cut under his eye, Ed. Kitterman with a record going into this match with 24-3 and 3-14 knockouts. And Tatangelo with a heck of a punch to land that cut.
Commissioner Dr. Marvin Cezanne has come back up for another look.
That looks like a pretty substantial cut, too.
That
I would say, just by looking at it, the shot we just saw on the monitor previous, it looked like it's going to need some stitching when it's finished.
Most definitely it's going to need some stitching. The Twins are probably telling Tatangelo to keep up the same kind of pace and keep doing exactly what he did in that second round.
There we see Kitterman coming out of his corner for round number 3. I'm sure the Twins told Tatangelo, Eddie, to try and work on that cut a little bit further.
Well, also,
under Kitterman's eye.
Also, if you notice, what Rico's doing now is he's using his front kick to keep Kitterman off.
Oh, there we go.
He's using the front kick into the lower body, into the lower abdomen.
Pacing a little bit more deliberate, Ed, in this third round.
Well, both fighters, I mean, they put up quite a pace in those first 2 rounds. Rico is just using that lead kick in as a jab, just keeping Kitterman off.
You're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack, the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, columnist with Our Toronto. We're in the third round of a 12-round match between Rico Tatangelo of Toronto and Ernie Kitterman of Belleville, Illinois. An FFKA World Championship bout. And now getting back to the same pace, both fighters displayed the first 2 rounds in this third. Solid body shots there from Kitterman. Rico Tatangelo holding his own, not holding back either. Pushing Kitterman back into the ropes. Blow after blow. Kitterman exchanging punches and kicks. There we go. Another solid round of action, Ed Zawadzki.
Rico is starting to dictate the pace of this fight now. Slowly, he's taking charge in this fight. He's making Kitterman pay. Every time Kitterman is coming in with his first punches or with any kind of offense, Rico is right there countering it.
As we get ready for the fourth round, there you see Mick and Martin McNamara of Twin Dragon Kung Fu and Kickboxing working with the heavy underdog. At least going into this fight, he was quite the underdog. Rico Tatangelo out of Toronto, as I mentioned, his record 7 wins, 2 losses, and a draw against the veteran Ernie Ironman Kitterman from Belleville, Illinois. 24-3-3 with 14 knockouts. In fact, 2 knockouts in his last 3 fights. That was mentioned with Mike Reed and Brian Lee. There you see a good look of Kitterman, and now Tatangelo. Tatangelo, of course, with the longer hair and the ponytail. They're set for round number 4. First 3 have been heavy duty, very heavy duty, non-stop action.
The one thing I noticed at the end of that third round is that fatigue might be setting in a little bit on Ernie Kitterman. Kitterman constantly looking for to be able to unload that right hand.
Oh, he almost
throws a nice side kick out of his own.
You get a point taken off there?
No.
Okay. Well, the crowd certainly into this this fight, pulling for the big underdog, Rico Tatangelo of Toronto, against Belleville, Illinois' Ernie, the Ironman Kitterman. This round number 4, almost like round number 3. Ed's starting off a little more deliberately, and perhaps it'll pick up as the round 3 towards the end.
Well, both fighters know that they can't sit there and just get rid of all their energy in the early rounds. This is a fight where they might have to go the distance.
Yeah, the way they started, I didn't think we were going to go past 4. I figured someone's going to go down real fast just because of the intensity of the blows nonstop.
Rico Tatangelo using that beautiful front kick to Kitterman's stomach effectively. Kitterman still trying to unload with that right hand. That's his bread and butter punch.
That's the end of the 4th round. We're watching World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10, coming to you from the Paradise Banquet Hall in Concord, Ontario. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 and National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, columnist with Our Toronto Magazine. And Ed, you can say certainly without any question, folks here at the banquet hall to catch today's card, certainly getting more than their money's worth in this particular matchup with Tatangelo and Kitterman.
Oh, most definitely. It's an exciting fight. Now, the one thing that I'm a little concerned with, in the last 2 rounds, there's a little slower paced.
Well, that's not surprising, considering the pace they came out with in the first 2 rounds.
But the one thing that I'm very interested in is seeing how the judges are going to score this. Because usually in a very close round, the champion will always have a little bit of an advantage. And Rico Tatangelo has had problems getting decisions here in Toronto.
He's got his work cut out for him in terms of his opponent, Ernie the Ironman Kitterman from Illinois. We start round number 5. Whoa, Kitterman scores a nice shot to the head there.
Gets in between Rico's guard.
Now, as opposed to some fighters, it seems like Kitterman could go with both legs, Ed.
Yeah, he is good. He is good with both legs. He's more of a hand fighter than anything else, but he is showing us his skills with his legs. I'm quite surprised by it.
Yeah, he's comfortable going with either.
He's a better kicker than a lot of people give him credit for, but then again, the man is a world champion.
Oh, Tatangelo missing with a roundhouse, but nice element of surprise there if he had connected. Both Kitterman and Tatangelo slowing it up a little bit in this round. As I mentioned, not surprising considering the furious pace they were going at each other during the first 3 rounds in particular.
Tatangelo still using that front kick to keeping Kitterman off.
Say at this stage, Eddie, that Kitterman is more definitively the aggressive fighter, taking the fight more so to Tatangelo.
But Tatangelo's countering with everything that Kitterman's coming at him with. It seems that everything Kitterman's throwing, Tatangelo has an answer for.
Well, he's more than holding his own, that's for sure, not backing away from anything. As we've come to the conclusion of 5 rounds in this FFKA World Championship bout between Toronto, Ontario's Rico Tatangelo, Belleville, Illinois' Ernie Kitterman, a scheduled 12-round match. And these fighters have thrown absolutely everything they've got, including the one you're looking at, Rico Tatangelo, representing the Twin Dragon Kickboxing and Kung Fu Club out of Toronto. And there's a good look at American out of Belleville, Illinois, the veteran Ernie Ironman Kitterman. That cut so far looks like it's holding up fairly well, Eddie.
Yeah, they've treated it okay. It's it doesn't seem to be a problem in this fight.
And the crowd just absolutely keeping their fingers crossed and really pulling for Rico Tatangelo. We heard the chants earlier on of Rico, Rico, kind of like a Rocky movie. No doubt we'll hear them if Rico can get another flurry going against Ernie Kitterman.
Well, we're definitely in Rico's hometown here. The crowd is definitely behind him.
As we begin round number 6 of the 12-round scheduled match. There they go. Once again, encouraging Rico Tatangelo. Tatangelo with the long hair, looking at his back. And Ernie Kitterman looking at his back. Oh, Tatangelo scores a couple of punches, couple more punches.
He's got him hurt.
Kitterman against the ropes. Kitterman comes out. Tatangelo scoring several punches and kicks in succession.
But Kitterman came back and landed a left and right of his own that backed Tatangelo up.
Tatangelo briefly looked like he had Kitterman in trouble there for a moment. Now Kitterman against the ropes once again. Kitterman getting more than his money's worth from the upstart Rico Tatangelo in this match. So we're in the middle of the 6th round of the scheduled 12-round fight.
I think fatigue is starting to set in a little bit with Kitterman. He seems to be a little frustrated now to get inside on Rico.
Oh, there's a nice kick by Rico Tatangelo. I would say Kitterman's looking a little more tired here.
Kitterman is tired. Rico's caught him at the end of the round.
What a flurry, and look at the crowd standing up and cheering on Rico Tatangelo. Boy, are they excited, and did he ever give them something to be excited about?
Rico had Kitterman in a world of trouble before the bell saved Kitterman.
End of the 6th round, the scheduled 12-round match. You're watching World Championship Kickboxing at its best. Storm and Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawadzki, columnist for Our Toronto Magazine on Rogers Community 10. We're coming to you from the Paradise Banquet Hall in Concord, Ontario. Now, what a dynamite match we've had. This is an FFKA World Championship bout between Toronto's Rico Tatangelo, the crowd behind him, as you can hear, and Ernie Kitterman, as you can see in his corner, out of Belleville, Illinois. He was hanging on at the end of that last round. Tatangelo putting on quite a charge. To come out for more action.
Kitterman is definitely fatigued.
Kitterman seems to have recovered. Got his win back, at least for now. Oh, good blows by both fighters there. Much to my surprise, this in fact might go 12 rounds. So the way they started, I didn't think they were going to go that far. Pretty courageous fight by both Rico Tatangelo and Ernie Kitterman, and they continue at that same pace they set in the first couple of rounds. Non-stop punching and kicking in this FFKA World Championship bout. Tatangelo and Kitterman exchanging punches. Now Tatangelo really taking it to Kitterman. Here we go. Kick, kick. Oh, nice uppercut by Rico Tatangelo. Another uppercut. Shot to the side.
Kitterman is
and a kick. Rico Tatangelo. What an amazing victory. Rico Tatangelo with a huge upset. This is unbelievable.
the new FFK champion of the world.
Rico Tatangelo being mobbed by his corner, representing the Twin Dragons. What a huge upset, Ed Zawatsky. This is unbelievable.
He's back. He's bought back the pride of the Twin Dragons. After Ernie Kitterman knocked out Mike Reed last October, Rico Tatangelo has bought back the pride and glory back to the Twin Dragons.
Getting a hero's welcome in the center of the ring. The rather comparatively inexperienced Rico Tatangelo with a record prior to this fight of 7 wins, 2 losses, and a draw against the seasoned veteran out of Illinois, Ernie Ironman Kitterman, who had a record of 24-3-3 with 14 knockouts. What a huge victory for Rico Tatangelo.
Unbelievable, and it was such an exciting fight. Such an exciting fight from beginning to end. Norman, we shouldn't forget the resilience, the courage, the class shown by former champion Ernie Kitterman.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
fought one of a gutsy performance.
But let's remind the folks, originally, Rico Tatangelo wasn't going to be involved in this fight.
He was the last minute, within 48 hours before the fight, he was brought in as a replacement for Mike Reed.
There he is in the middle of the ring, representing the Twin Dragons out of Toronto, Rico Tatangelo. The ponytail boy, what a fight and what a shock.
In the last 3 months, Rico Tatangelo has effectively beaten both Kitterman brothers, ended the first Kitterman brothers' career, and now really looked impressive in stopping older brother Ernie in his quest for the FFKA World Middleweight Championship.
What a fight we've seen, and what excitement for this crowd who are pulling for Rico Tatangelo, and he pulled through for them and for the Twins.
Well, he definitely pulled in. This is a pro Tatangelo crowd. It's his hometown. He knew that he'd have a tough time getting a decision here in Toronto, and he came right out in that last round and went for the knockout, went for broke.
And aren't you glad you're watching this World Championship Kickboxing on Rogers Community 10?
For
Here's the
bringing us the
announcement.
main event this evening. We have our decision. The referee stops the fight at 1 minute and 38 seconds of the 7th round. The winner and new FFKA World Champion, Rico Tatangelo.
What a fight by Rico Tatangelo. There they are, the two fighters. Nice classy handshake at the end of today's matchup. And what entertainment for this audience, Ed Zawatsky.
Well,
Unbelievable drama.
Well, Rico Tatangelo himself told me before this fight, no matter who wins, he wanted to buy the first round for Ernie Kitterman. And that is a show of real class, Norman.
There's Rico Tatangelo in his corner, successfully and triumphantly representing Twin Dragon Kickboxing and Kung Fu, headed up by Mick and Martin McNamara. What a champion he has been. All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back to wrap up. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack, the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawatsky, columnist Art Toronto. Back with more momentarily, right here on Rogers Community 10. Welcome back to the Paradise Banquet Hall in Concord. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio. And to my right, Ed Zawatsky, columnist with our Toronto Magazine. Well, quite a card, quite a wrap-up. Rico Tatangelo absolutely fulfilling a boxer's dream, a Rocky kind of ending. Rocky in the positive sense, as in Hollywood, over the veteran Ernie Kitterman, the Iron Man.
What a greatest fight. It was probably one of the most action-packed fights ever fought here in the city of Toronto. It was amazing fight from start to finish. Rico Tatangelo is definitely going to make a great world champion.
Well, we've seen a great match here on Rogers Community 10. Thank you very much, and an excellent job done by the Twin Dragons once again, presenting and producing this card in Concord, Ontario. We thank them. We thank you for watching. I'm Stormer Norman Rumack of the Fan 590 National Sports Radio, along with Ed Zawatsky of our Toronto columnist. And we thank you for watching World Championship Kickboxing here on Rogers Community 10.
Tatangelo became the world middleweight champion in March, and Susan Ponting caught up with him at the gym where he trained for